Thanks again, everyone, for joining us for another exciting session for the Aspiring Entrepreneur Program, brought to you by Opportunities Australia and joint with Fishburners. Today, we'll be talking about building your engine for your small business. And what that entails is generally the infrastructure and software you would need, systems that you may need to consider to build your business and make it run efficiently. So today we have two excellent speakers, Ram Vishwanathan and Arpitha Shivakumar. They'll be discussing their presentation. So I'll hand it over to them to start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. What you said is expert. That's not the right word. we are just learning as we go. Just to give a bit of background, me and Arpitha will be doing a presentation today, and most of the things what we are going to cover today is already you guys know about it. It's just a matter of reiterating some of the things, and we'll take you through what are the basic building block to set up a business. And I believe that some of you guys are already in quite advanced stage in terms of you are running your business, and some of the things you are already using these things. So what happens is during our presentation, if you guys can also share your experience, that will really help others in the meeting. Okay. Regarding my background, I've been in the IT for more than 20 years, and currently I'm working for a New South Wales government for a digitization project for state records. I've been there for nearly about for last 8 months. I'm working there. So I've been doing contracting with state government for last 6-7 years. Arpitha?
Hey, hi. Myself, Arpitha. I am in IT for last 13 years, and I'm currently working in New South Wales Health. We are, I'm a senior consultant there. We're working on the, optimization of the new software, what they are developing to the hospitals, which is used by across the NSW hospitals. I'm just working since more than a year there now.
Okay, guys. So we'll just get into the details of it. This is so far you had about 5 sessions, and this is the 6th sessions. And how was the journey so far? Anything you'd like to give a quick feedback? Anybody? Any 1 or 2 guys? All going well?
Sorry.
This is the sixth session you guys are having it. So just wanted to see how things are going.
No, I think it's a very valuable. I think a lot of lessons we have learned since last 6 weeks. I think some of the things, as you said, we already know, and some of the things we are learning as we go. But I think all those sessions were very high value sessions.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Also, in a couple of weeks' time, we have this pitch night. So we are all looking forward to see you all there. Also today, I spoke to Kumar, could not present. He sent his apologies. Okay, let's get on to what today's topic, which is building the engine. So the area which we will be covering today is mainly on the IT side of it. What is the basic requirement you need to run a business? So I'll start with that one. So sorry guys, my screen is not working. Okay. So we have put about few bullet points. I think you guys, or most of you know about it. Like to run any business, you need a technology. Technology is very important to run a business. And not just the technology in the sense also, you need to have a right technologies to run the business. Using the technology, you need to have access to the information, because you're going to you need to be a web presence. Then you need to talk to your clients online, and there's no shop front or those kind of offices are not there. So we're going to talk about the technology side of it. And also, we just want, like, when you're starting a business, you need to embrace the technology as to grow faster and stronger and be more competitive. So in terms of that, we have thought we'll just take about 5 minimum technology requirements to run a business. So we'll go through that in detail. One is about the email. You must have an email, and then you must have a website. And then after you have the email and website, the next thing you need is email. You need to do a marketing. So you can do a marketing via email, or you can do a social. You can make use of your social media. So these are the basic building blocks. Then on top of it comes is like, you have got all this thing over the time. You build up your business. You're using the technologies. Now you also need to have some compliances, and you need to protect your data and the technology. So a bit of a you need to be aware of the cyber security side of it. And the last thing which we want to discuss in today's is like, you need to optimize your website. That is like, suppose somebody wants to find out, like, you're selling a product or services, and we these days we do a search, and the search is like, your product, like your services should come on top of it. So so these are the areas which we will be covering. So anybody has got any questions on anything before I move to the next slide? Alrighty. So silence, I'll move to the next one. Email. As I said before, email, like we all use email. It's widely used form of communication. And with advent of smartphones, again, like, you can access your email anywhere, at any time, at any place. So that, again, it has added to it. So for the business, what is required is you definitely need to have an email, but also you need to have a reliable and robust email platform. So there are few email providers who can provide the domain name, and they're pretty robust. So they are available. So you can just find out that. Anybody wants to share any of their who are already doing the business in terms of the email system or anything in terms of the platform they are using?
Maybe I'll share a bit, but feel free to jump in, everyone. We used to use Outlook as our email system, and then recently we've moved into G Suite, which is a Google product. Works well. Yeah, that's what we use.
Mm-hmm.
We're just using.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to add. At the moment, we're just using Gmail.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everybody's aware necessarily, but so my business, Lantern Partners, also uses Gmail or the G Suite services, but that doesn't mean you have to have an @gmail.com email address. So when you set it up for business, you can set it up having your business name. So just so you're aware of that as you were looking through different options.
I think currently Opportunity Australia and the email account is using the Google and the G Suite, but it's not at Google, but at the Opportunity Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have I was running a business a few years ago, and then I was using my own this thing. Then it was actually I was using a Yahoo Mail. And then, but I was name as a domain one. All right, let's move to the next slide. As you know, again, definitely we are in the online world. So you need to to run a business. You need to have a website. Definitely, website is quite a powerful tool for promoting the business. And Also, you can reach out to your clients across the globe. You can get your product from anywhere, from any place. So that website is quite important. I did see Sam Lee's website today. I liked it. It's pretty good. Is Sam there today?
No, he usually is. I think he's away today.
Yeah, I went through his website. I was quite impressive one. So the people who are on the today, are you all having your own website, or are you building your website? Is there anything you guys want to share?
I need to build one. I've got other social media pages, but with website, I want to build one, but I'm a little confused in terms of how to get started, in terms of the domains and the charges associated with it. So I was wondering if you could shed some light on that.
Look, there are, what type of, sorry, look, I just wanted to ask you, what type of business you are getting into?
So mine is a non-for-profit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Have you approached anyone, or is it
Yeah, so at the moment we already run some projects, but it's just through social media. We haven't got an official website because we're not officially registered at the moment. So still in the process.
Okay. Yeah, so I think you can just keep trying and then build your website, because once you get the concept of it, then you can modify it. And once your organization get an approval and all, then you can make it more formal. There are number of website providers are available, they're quite cheap these days.
Yeah,
like WordPress, and if you have looking for a very low budget, I think it's WordPress is a better idea as of now, where you can just create a static pages, and then also you can create kind of a blog. It would not take much time or much money investing in that, and probably if you can start off with the blogs and other stuff, so people will come and visit your website, and then they can give a feedback session, or they can write the stories where a lot of interactions happens, and even the marketing also happens through those websites.
I think possibly a way of thinking about your website is thinking about what you want it to achieve for your business. So as Ram's got on this slide, there will be a different requirement from your website if you're actually wanting to transact on that website, as opposed to it just being a shop front. And they're very different animals. But both of them, though, these days, there are very much more kind of out-of-the-box solutions that you can use either way. But one option as well, just as you're getting started, may be to effectively have Facebook as a Facebook page as your website. The only thing to bear in mind there is, obviously, the Facebook isn't your property. Yes. So it's probably only a short-term solution for you, but it might just be something that you kind of start with to start getting some visibility for your business or your organization, whether it's a not-for-profit or whether it's a for-profit type business, before you then graduate onto your own website. But so there's a few kind of ways of thinking through it, I think. And I think the best way to reach an outcome for your business is to think about what you want the website to do for your business.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. That's absolutely spot on. Look, I was doing a bit of research on that. I came across about 12 different types of websites you can have. For example, like if you are in a media business, there is a certain set of profile, a certain set of framework is available. Similarly, if you are want to get into a wiki type of a thing, there is a different type of a framework available. Yeah.
Just one more thing, probably you guys already aware, probably. If it's a not-for-profit organization, then you might need to just consider which domain you are registering, because for the non-profit, it's more sort of like org.au is a very common in Australia. Mm-hmm. But then you need to have your not-for-profit sort of proof for your organization. to register those org.au domain.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, sorry, just to extend on that point, if you are a not-for-profit, quite a few of the, I can't think of a better phrase for it right now, but the out-of-the-box websites offer discounts for not-for-profits. So if you get your registrations right up front, you may actually find you get a discount when you come to actually setting it up properly. So just some additional food for thought, because I know there's a couple of people in this group that are looking at not-for-profits.
And here I also have some extra information. And in relation to the website design, if you really don't have any computer background, and sometimes I found actually now some websites, just like I already sent the link in the group chat, just like the Wax, and they already provide kind of very quite established template for different type of business. And it can be a very good starting points for the any user who don't have any IT background to build up their own website. But another thing that is very important is build out the website and is related to the business image. So before you 100% make sure you're happy with the website, don't make it public available.
Yes, yeah. All right. If there anybody wants to share or anything, otherwise we can move to the next slide. I just forgot to mention to you guys, the first half we are going to do the presentation, and the second half of the today will be breakout workshop, the workshop which you have been doing it. So that will happen. Is it okay? Is there anything else I need to add to this?
I think you've covered well. Thank you.
Okay. How about the time wise? I'm okay because I'm not having a watch or anything. You okay?
40 minutes. So yeah, running with enough time.
Okay. All right. So the next one is we talked about it's about the email marketing. The email marketing is the most cost-effective way of reaching out to the audience. How it's basically but there is one catch to it. When you want to send an email marketing, it is better that you have your email subscribers and then you sign them that you're going to get they are going to receive that email, because I believe these days there is going to be email marketing laws going to come or available or something which is happening. I don't have full details of it, but I've heard this recently. So that's a bit of about the email marketing. And the advantage of having the email marketing is definitely you're going to give your promotional messages to the audience, and then you're going to build your customer loyalty, drive the sales, and build up all those kinds of things which you want to do. It's a very powerful tool, cost-effective tool to do your email marketing. And this takes us to the next one, which is from email marketing, we talk about social media marketing. Again, that social media, we just talked about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all. You can use that, and the cheapest one is these are the cheapest one, but you don't own them. So, for example, if you put your marketing or advertisement in or any communication to Facebook, you're not owning it compared to having a website. So this is another way to when you're starting a business, it's another way to do your marketing. Anybody wants to share anything about this? Or
so for the email marketing, which sort of platform you propose, which is good? Is it like a MailChimp or something any other sort of platform which is good for the email marketing?
We are using a Substack, which is actually a free one, because I think MailChimp you have to pay for But Substack, you can get an email newsletter. People sign up to it and you send out a blog. You can even have a paid newsletter if you make one for free subscribers and one for people who want to get more info. You can make a paid newsletter using that website. I'll send the URL in the...
That's very good information, Andre.
MailChimp's similar in that there's a free version which just allows you to do some pretty basic email marketing to your subscriber base, but doesn't let you do a lot of segmenting and targeting in terms of those subscribers themselves. So again, but the email marketing platforms themselves can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. So again, just think about kind of what you're trying to achieve with your email marketing, how your audience is going to respond and what you want them to do when they get the email. But yeah, there is always kind of a free way of approaching it, which is, likely appropriate in the early days. But once you start to kind of test and get a greater level of sophistication, there's MailChimp, there's HubSpot as well, just to name a couple of them. But yeah, they can get quite expensive quite quickly.
So just if I put myself in the other side where we just get the hundreds of junk mail every day and we don't even bother looking at that. So it's not like a junk mail coming from subscriber or anything like that. It's just a junk mail coming from nowhere. It has got the no link to unsubscribe. It has got the no email where you can report to. And then your mailbox is full of that. On top of that, on the website, when I have got like a web form to fill in, even if you put the like a reCAPTCHA and those sort of protection in there, you get hundreds of all the junk in your inbox. So
you can block those email IDs where you get it from, or like you.
But it comes from every time. It comes from the different ID. Yeah, it's auto generated. It just always come with some different IDs, different number. Now we are getting even in the mail or even in the text messages on the phone. So I don't know where to stop. Yeah.
But obviously that's not legal. So what you're talking about is not genuine email marketing. That's illegal spamming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it comes as a cybersecurity things where we have to set few settings. We have to work on those things. That's the next slide. I think probably if we move further, that's where we have to look into it. We need to have what we are sending it, or if we are giving our website to people, they have to subscribe it to get an email. Otherwise, if we are spamming them again, they will get irritated and then they don't want to see the emails and they can't unsubscribe and all those things. So we have to be aware of how much we expose our business to, or who are we exposing. We should have a clear picture. And then audience and whom we are exposing, because yes, we are getting ATO calls from somewhere, and we get nowadays there is a trend where we are getting the SMS from our number itself, where my number. Yeah, I the other day I was talking to my friend. He's like, I got a message from my number, and I was like worried, is my mobile hacked or something? No, there are ways of people sending messages and other stuff. So you have to have a basic knowledge on it, and then probably try to, a common man cannot stop it, but at least we can, we can have a knowledge of it and then talk to a person who is in that cybersecurity field and then ask how the things work out and other stuff. Yeah, probably they can give you a basic idea of things and other stuff.
I think the law in relation to the email, the marketing, and one of them maybe is Spam Act 2003. It's mainly dealing with just like all the junk email. And to say when we do the mail marketing, we need to make sure we also always have a link for the user to unsubscribe the email. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, if you're not speaking, can you put yourself on mute? I think there's a few people coming through. Andres, I think. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can mute it, that will be good. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic about email marketing. Yeah. So anybody has got any other experience on this marketing, email, or even the social media marketing? Any success stories or anything you guys want to share?
One thing I'd say about this, over the past few sessions, we've spent a lot of time on identifying your customer. Some customers prefer to be on different platforms. So, if you realize that your customers are more on LinkedIn because they're more, I guess, white collar service level industry type people, or maybe they're more influencer types. Maybe they live more on Instagram or Facebook. You'll need to choose the social media marketing approach that suits where your customers live. So I would just say that there's no point in spending a few $100s on Instagram when your customers aren't there.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah.
Yeah. So really understand your customer, really do the foundational work. Once you figure that out, you'll find out where they spend most of their time. And then you can do like content or advertisements in that section.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything? Again, Facebook has recently they changed the name to Meta.
Yeah, I use Facebook for for Facebook ads, but I still use Instagram and LinkedIn to post to keep myself active between the three platforms. So, but the most I spend money in is Facebook ads at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Stan. And I think that's a smart way to do it. A lot of people just use Instagram and YouTube to build awareness for their brand. So you get free views. So if someone comes across and likes your content, then they'll look into you and potentially become a customer. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, anybody else? Because this is quite interesting. Because as we are starting a business, we'll be having a limited funds to invest in infrastructure, technology infrastructure. So we will go with the social media or email marketing, I guess. All right. The next one is, I'll take to the next slide, which is we talked about a few of the things we touched based on that about cybersecurity. Again, we definitely have to protect our data because we are going to, when we are doing a business, we have our own data as well as we have our customers' data. So we have to be very, very vigilant in protecting them. If we don't do it, then what happens is we will lose the business or we will lose the clients. We will have loss in terms of investment loss, business loss, costs. All those things are happening. So the cybersecurity is now becoming very, very integral part of setting up of a business. Again, like we talked about, threats coming from phishing, also some of the software, malicious software, malware, and ransomware. Those are all happening regularly. So we have to be a bit more vigilant on this one.
Probably monitoring what kind of emails we are getting or what kind of email we are sending to the people. We have to keep monitoring what the data is going to and fro. And then if there is any data which is kind of, and also if you have a account where you send email marketing and other stuff, you need to keep changing your password every 3 months. And all these protections, if you keep on doing, then probably the exposure will be little less compared to the one which has a common password and then everyone are using from different places. Then the networks will be exposed, and then somewhere the networks where networks are exposed, the hacking will happen more frequently.
Anybody wants to share anything, and they have any questions or any kind of but this is a area, cybersecurity is an area like, it's, as I mentioned before, it's very closely integrated with what type, whether it is a business or whether at home also. When we do a banking, you have to be careful. Okay. I'll move to the next slide in that case. Also, if you guys got any questions or anything, just send us an email. We will try to find and get you an answer.
Sorry,
Sorry, George.
Here. Yes, in relation to the cybersecurity, and I think another legislation maybe we need to look at is Privacy Act. The reason is because sometimes if we doing business, and it's very possible if we have an online store, in that case, it's very likely we will collect the credit card information and other financial data from our customers. So it's very important to make sure we keep all this data and safely. And also now the privacy law makes it clear if, for example, our website has been hacked, and the customer data or even employee data has been stolen. And in that case, and each employer will have obligation to inform the employee and the customer who have been affected by this. Otherwise, it may subject to the pecuniary penalty from the government. I think the maximum penalty can be $2 million for each attack. So that's something, and we do need to bear in mind, because now we do have some law and in place, and it may, if we don't treat it carefully, and it may also have caused some economic damage for us. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. All right, so I'll move to that next one, which is search engine optimization. Like with all, whenever we want to buy something or we want to see something, we go to a Google or we go to the Yahoo or Bing, just put this our requirement, and then we get an output like as quickly as possible. So one of the things which is very important to have businesses have a good search engine. Again, the search engine, like there are it helps. Its search engine is it's a way in which people can discover the content online. Also, it helps to put your business on top of others, your competitors. So it's very important. And basically, how it is it improves and optimizes improve the quality and quantity of the website traffic. So this is one of the important things like you need to consider when you are setting up a business. Again, if you have a website and all, then it's better. I would suggest that better to have somebody who is in the business of a SEO, and they can look into that and improve it over the time. Yes, so that's something which I just thought I will just put this in this discussion today.
Yeah, I might add to that, Ram. SEO is a big part of online businesses these days. If you're online, if they can't find you by Googling you or searching on Yahoo or Bing, it's going to be very difficult for your customers to engage with you. So search engine optimization is important. I've used it personally in my business. Back in the day, we were probably getting 100 people to the site a month, and now we just hit an all-time high of 14,000 a month last month. And we did invest in SEO. There's small things that you can do yourself, but like setting your web page correctly, making sure that it's structured correctly, people can read easily, it's responsive on mobile. So there's a lot of these technical things that are very hard to do yourself. You would have to find an expert that can do it for you. You can probably find some on like contracting websites. You can subcontract for a few hours a month or a few hours a quarter just to help out with the basic things. But another important thing here is the sooner you do it, the more effect it'll have in the future. So it's compound, it builds daily. So it's not something, it takes 6 months for SEO to work. That's what everyone will tell you. And it is true. So, the best time to start an SEO thing is straight away, especially, but you need to budget for it. So that's something you need to consider. What's the budget?
Yeah. So these are the things which I wanted to cover in terms of when you're starting a business. Okay, then the last slide is I just put a application. Well, let's move to that. Yeah, the last slide is for you need to consider some of these applications when you're setting up collaboration. You need to have some kind of office collaboration where these days we have like Microsoft or Microsoft is very popular one, and then Google G Suite is also catching up. So that is, you need to have that. And also when you are doing a business, you need to have a payment and e-commerce payment type of thing. So there are some, there are PayPal is there, Afterpay and Secure Pay. Those guys are quite popular. So those things you need to consider that. And then in addition to that is any accounting system, either you can buy one of the off-the-shelf product or look, I have seen some people are still using the Excel spreadsheet to do the accounting system. Again, once they grow, then it changes. And the other thing I put here is you need to have a customer, CRM. Salesforce is one of the things, and there are Microsoft Dynamics is another thing which I'm quite popular these days. So these are some of the business application also you may have to consider at some point of time. May not be on the day one, maybe after some as you go. All right. So this is any other business application. Again, this is just a generic one. Again, it depends upon the kind of a business you are trying to get. Suppose if you're into catering, many of them may be applicable, not all of them. There could be something which is special, must be for your type of business. Training, there are a few packages. Some applications are there, they use it. So that's a thing which I wanted to cover. And the last slide is I just put this how IT is changed the traditional way of working. A recent as well, because these days the education is a classic example. George, you can also give some share your experience on this, from classroom now everything is online. So again, IT has come into the picture. So similarly, we do when we want to buy or anything, the retail business, you can buy from anywhere, from any place. And the technology has come into the picture. So it's a healthcare center. So even our, when we take a taxi, the Uber has come. It's a disruptive technology. So many things are changing. So we have to embrace the technology. We have to keep on moving with it. And I would, again, you just have to keep up to date what's happening around. Yeah.
Right. Arpita, is any slides for Arpita? Or?
No, I know Ram was more experienced, so I just thought he'll take over things. And then whenever I want, whenever there's something I can pitch in or any questions which I can answer. So yeah that's it from my side.
All right, perfect. Could you go back one slide, Ram, please? So, one thing that we want you to consider as entrepreneurs, there's a lot of moving parts to a business. So in the early days, the first thing you'll start with is your email system. That's your communications. Maybe you'll be talking to a lot of your clients online. Maybe you need Zoom video calls, so maybe you need a Zoom account or You can use Google Meets, which is free. You need a phone. You need a phone and need to get a proper subscription there. So just think about what items do you need, equipment do you need for your business? Do you need a laptop? Usually you'll need a laptop these days. If you're selling your products online or face-to-face, you might need an FPOS system. There's a lot by Square and Stripe and Zella. There's a lot of new things coming onto the market. Tyro. So and think about your customers. Ram's put here Afterpay, so paying in 4 equal installments. Do your customers need that level of flexibility in payment potentially? So we offer it. I mean, we don't offer it. We offer Zip as a convenience for individual tax returns if they need it. So, are you on Amazon? Are you on eBay? Like, are you a mass on e-commerce seller? What systems are you using? A lot of people, consider an accounting system later on. And I can understand why, things can be expensive, but there are free versions. Zoho has a free version for accounting. Highly recommend using an accounting system. Most of my clients, we recommend Xero because it's very easy to use. Accountants, easy to collaborate with your accountants through that. Relatively inexpensive for the basic system. But if you need help with that, we do have a 20% discount for Xero software. So if you need help there, let me know. Customer relationship management system, that sort of ties back in with marketing and sales and just managing who your customers are and how to send them emails. So that'd probably tie into your MailChimp and Substack as you're using Andre. Zoho, I think they have another free CRM. Isn't that right, Ram? Are you anyone familiar with the Zoho products?
No, I recently came to know about this. This is another product which is that even Monday.com is also, they're saying they're selling it as a CRM product, which again, it's more like a project management tool, I thought, but there are plenty out there. So just have to pick the right one. Again, the cost is also the subscription cost you need to consider too.
Yeah. And the tools today, the software that you use today is mostly subscription based. Back in the day, you would have to, pay an upfront cost, a big upfront cost to get a system that would work for you. But nowadays it's per user per account basis. So it makes it a little more manageable, but cash flow becomes, you have to keep an eye on monthly cash flow. But I'll throw it to you guys. What tools have you been using in your businesses now that you find quite useful?
Currently, I'm just using to cut costs as a startup. I'm just using Excel, Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Just logging in my expenses and profits and that kind of stuff. But of course, in the near future, when there's more clients and stuff, I'll need to look at say QuickBooks or Xero, like what you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.
What about, do you use any collaboration tools, Sam?
Sorry?
Any office collaboration tools? Do you use Microsoft or?
Not sure what you mean by that, but I use.
For your business, like you started right recently. So do you use Google or Microsoft Office or?
Yeah, I do. I use Microsoft Office. Like say I use PowerPoint, I use Word, I use spreadsheet. Pretty useful. It's got a lot of templates and things like that. For CRM, I'm using Aweber. I used to use Entrepot, but it cost too much, so I changed to a lower version, like a Weber, which is cheaper, relatively cheaper. Well,
and do you when you have do you use a Skype or with Microsoft, or do you use Teams or?
I use Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess everyone's using Zoom nowadays. But I guess there's free versions, like what you said, Google Meet, Facebook, like all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think with a lot of these tools, and maybe this is my bias showing, coming at it from a financial perspective, all of these individual things cost money. So what you'll need to do is as you're assessing your business, the kind of business it is and the stage at which it is, you'll need to make a decision as to what are the most important tools for your business at your stage. And that will be different for most people. And there are a lot of free or starter versions of tools to get you going as well. So I think really pay attention to kind of where you need to spend your money and where your business needs to spend its money in the early days.
Yeah, that's very important. Even for OA also, we are getting some of the tools, but since some of them we are evaluating it, so we are going in for a basic version of it. So yeah, that's very
and
important.
a lot of the time, we will all be using, much as we aspire to be using our tools in the fullest way possible. A lot of the time, we're using the tools in a relatively basic way. So yeah, it is definitely something to bear in mind.
Yeah.
As we were saying, the systems that you use, the infrastructure that you have for your business can be important. So if you do have questions on what you think you may need, feel free to email our team. Sure, we'd have recommendations to help you along the way. But anything else for the presentation, Ram?
No, that's all. I've covered most of the things.
Okay, perfect. Well, I guess that concludes the presentation side. I'll start the breakout rooms now. So feel free to jump in. Any questions, just let your mentor know. Thanks.